Hello, in the new video. Today we're going to take a look at some gameplay here with Ariados in the Great League, and I'm not sure which language this actually is. I think it is French, might be, I don't think it's Spanish, I think it's French, might be also like, I don't know, some language. Let me know in the comment section which language it is. It looks French to me, but I'm not sure, might be also something else. But yeah, you most likely know already. We see here that Ariados is actually a pretty decent Pokemon in the current meta, and this thing has access to the moves Cross Poison and also the Lunge. Lunge will be able to debuff the opponent's attack there, which is going to be very nice for a lot of cases where you win the lead. And we also see here now the Diggersby in the back, and I think the backline that you have here right now is a pretty solid one in general, as you're going to have the Diggersby, which will be able to counter the most common Say Soaps, which are going to be the Lickitung and also the Sableye. So I really like this team idea here. We see that they go into this own Sableye to farm it down, and we actually see the team that I usually run currently against you, which actually going to lose here, most likely, as the Spammy does not have enough power to KO both the Sableye as well as the Diggersby, especially as Diggersby also still has a ton of energy left. We will have a pretty easy game for you here, I think, and they're going to surrender it as well. As we see in the next game, we're going to see the Trevenant against the here, which is going to be, I think, a good matchup for you. I think you win this matchup, but I'm not sure. You're going to be able to debuff them, of course. You can shield this potential Shadow Ball up, which is going to be a Shadow Ball as well, as we see this little sheep coming in here. Something I don't really expect too much here. We're going to see the sheep coming in, and you will be able to go for another lunge to try to get this thing a little bit lower. This is kind of core breaker for your backline, but also not really. Sableye is pretty fine against it, as you're going to go actually into your Diggersby, which is also now fine because they double debuffed. The fast move actually still does hurt a little bit. Of course, it's super effective, but like after 2 debuffs, I did expect it would do less, but you can go for one more Fire Punch, knock them out here, and see what they're going to have in the back. Afterwards, we will see the Trevenant coming back in here, which is fine for you. You can go ahead and go for your Fire Punch. Fire Punch will be able to knock them out if they wouldn't shield here, but they're going to shield here. You can survive one move, but you're going to shield this one as well. You can go for another Fire Punch, and you will be able to get the final shield here, or KO the opponent. You get the final shield, and you can catch the Seed Bomb on the Ariados. Very nice catch. The Seed Bomb will do next to nothing because it's resisted there, and we will see a Bastion coming in, and you will be able to align the Diggersby again. Very well played there, by the way. Like, very, very well played. Catching the move there. Very nice one there. We see a very decent lead for you. We see the Florizare, whatever it's called, of course, the Venusaur against you, a very nice name, but you're going to be able to now, again, what I said before, if you have a decent lead, you're going to be able to punish whatever save swaps in you as well, as we're going to face here the opponent's Diggersby. Interesting play to go into your Sableye, by the way. I would have more expected to go into your own Diggersby. You debuffed them already, you will be able to knock them out with one Earthquake, and you would be able to also punish the opponent with one more Fire Punch against the Venusaur. So I think it might have been not the correct play, at least in my opinion. You have to invest one shield here right now, and you will be able to now go into your Sableye. You will take this move, you can realign, you get actually still to your foul play, which is nice, and you will most likely go back into your Ariados, and you should have a pretty nice time here, as we see the good call, I guess, from your player as well there, to expect the Galarian Stunfisk in the back there, because now you can kind of hardwall it. You go straight for the Earthquake. That's kind of ballsy, to be honest. I wouldn't have done this, but it played out for you, definitely. I always just went straight for Fire Punch, because either you get the shield or you get the damage for both. It's fine. You're going to be able to survive another move, and you can actually go for the full farm down there, knowing your IVs, knowing the matchups, and going straight for the farm down. We will see the next opponent having a horrible lead for you. You can swap into your Sableye immediately, which is going to be the save swap of your team, against the I'm not going to say the name again in the weird version. Against the Venusaur here, you're going to be able to go for one more foul play here, as this should do some decent damage if they wouldn't shield it, but they're going to shield up. You're going to be able to outspeed them. You're going to get to the moves at the exact same time as they're going to get to the moves, but they swapped in, so you have one move advantage. And you will be able to realign, which is amazing for your team, especially if we see this Sableye in the back. You're going to be able to go for 2 Earthquakes most likely with your own Diggersby then later on, which is going to be nice. You can go for another move here. They might want to shield this actually. and they do want to shield it, which is amazing for you. You can go into your bug Pokemon again, and you will be able to now counter the opponent with your Diggersby, and you should have a pretty decent time here, as this will be able to go for one Earthquake here. Diggersby will be able to knock out the opponent's Galarian Stunfisk after a little bit more of damage there. One more Fire Punch will be enough to hopefully knock them out there, and we will see that there is the Saber is still waiting, going for, I think it was this a return? I think it was a return. You will be able to now win this game. Next opponent, we're going to see a Tropius. Tropius, depending on the fast move, is fine, but this fast move is not as fine. You're going to go for the poison move here. This time around, your bug move is only neutral, while the poison move is super effective, and the poison move is doing a ton of damage here. Cross poison, of course. Not doing enough to KO them immediately yet. You can let this move go through if you want to be honest. It's going to be the Aerial Ace, and you're going to get hit by another move here, which is going to be most likely the Leaf Blade, as we see the opponent coming into the Azumarill. And this is the cool thing about this team here, how you played it out. You're going to be able to bait out the Azumarill, which is kind of common nowadays again, and you will be able to now lock in your Ariados against it, and you also will avoid it with the Pokemon that you have in the back, which is going to be the Diggersby. Waiting out the switch clock is very important here, as you cannot swap out immediately, and you will see a fire Pokemon. I haven't seen which one it is. Is it like it's a Mawile, yeah, exactly. This is a Mawile in the back, still with a Fire Fang, not with a new charge fast move there, would be the Fire Wind. But I don't think they have a good time against you here, because of course your Fire Punch is still super effective. You don't really need to do too much damage here, and we see the Azumarill coming back in. You're just going to spam Fire Punches now, trying to get some damage on them, and trying to soak your damage, like the energy, here on your Diggersby, because your Ariados will be able to just farm them down, to be honest. They're going to go for another move, and you can just let this move go through, and you will be able to win this, but you're going to shield up, which is fine, because you need one more fast move. Not risky at all, because the Azumarill cannot basically have two fast charge moves at the same time. They always need one fast move in between for two Ice Beams, so there was literally no reason to not shield there, so decent shield. We see the next opponent having here the Sableye, where you're going to be able to go for, again, your debuffing move. You can take this next move, and you will always win this switch advantage back here, which is nice for you, as you're going to still outspeed them now for the moves, and even if they shield it, like, you can farm them down after a while. So very nice to keep the switch advantage alive here as well. Very nice there. We see a Charmer coming in here again, as you can go into your Poison Boy, and we see the Diggersby in the back. This is going to be an interesting one, but you can swap out already, which is amazing for you. I think you could put him into range now, where one Earthquake with one Fire Punch should be enough, especially now you're going to go straight for the Earthquake. I think that's the right call. They might want to keep their shields for their Charmer, but they're going to shield this move up here. You should be in a really decent spot where there's nothing really that you have to be worried about. Let's see, you can go ahead and go for another Earthquake here. This Earthquake will go unshielded, which is very nice for you, and we see the Charmer coming back in here. You can go for one Fire Punch. You can swap out into your Ariados, and you should be able to easily win this one. Shield this up, and you can farm actually a few more fast moves here, as you can go for one Cross Poison then, and also one Lunge there, which is going to pressure the opponent here. They kind of have to shield this. I think they are low enough for this one, and you will be able to actually knock them out, because they knew there was no way to win this game anymore. Good game there. We see the next opponent having a Registeel in the lead. This is fine for your backline as well, as you're going to be able to go ahead and go into your Sableye now. This thing can take a move, and I think you're actually going to shield it. You sadly get the debuff, which doesn't really help you in this scenario though. I think it doesn't really matter too much here. Like, of course, you will not get them low enough, but you're always going to get the shield back, and I think you're going to even get another shield back, as they're going to go for a charge move here, going to not knock you out. You can go for another one, and you will be able to get the final shield by the opponent, which is going to be very nice for you, as you now have to hope that your Diggersby can beat everything in the back, which could be the case, but we don't know yet. This team is actually a little bit weak, to be honest, against against the Altaria, so I don't really think this team is like this perfectly fine. But it's definitely a decent team, but against Altaria, you're definitely going to have some issues, because both your lead as well as your Diggersby have literally next to nothing to do against it. And this was very unfortunate. I think you would be able to win CMP there, but seems like that's not the case there, but it's going to be okay, as you can go ahead and go for some fire punches against this thing. Great catch by the opponent onto the Sableye. You have to try to overfarm a lot here, and you have to try to basically farm all the way down, which is your only way to win this. You can swap into your Ariados. You will be able to farm down. You can go for the lunge, and you can hopefully go for another move afterwards, because this will get this thing low. You can go for another lunge. You're getting this thing even lower now. And you can just farm him down barely. Having the Digger Spear in the back with like a few HP helped you to win this game, as we see the next opponent with one Medicham. Medicham is of course a decent matchup for you, and we will see here the opponent coming in with their Lickitung. Are you going to go ahead and go into your Digger Spear? Are you going to stay in here? I would expect that they have either the Registeel or the Galarian Stunfisk or the Bastion in the back, so I think staying in here is the right call, especially as you should be able to realign now after all the debuffs. You can definitely take one Body Slam now. You will be able to outspeed them as well to lunges, and this will already get them pretty low. You can farm them all the way down, and we will see the Fighter coming back in, which is interesting. This might also be the version where they have the what's it called, the Alone Ninetales in the back. So if this is the Alone Ninetales version exactly, then it's definitely decent that you still have Fire Punch here, but it's going to be a rough one. Like this, going to be a tough one to still win this. Of course, Fire Punch is very fast, decent move timing here, as you can go for another Fire Punch one turn afterwards, and you're actually going to overfarm. Again, perfect move timing. They definitely know how to count here. Very well played so far. We see another Fire Punch. This time around, he could have maybe just did one fast move and you would have been better off. You basically gave them one turn too much, but I don't think it really matters too much. You can go into your Sableye. You have to go for the charge move now. You will be able to go for it. This will knock out the opposing Ninetales, but can you still withstand against this Medicham? You can still get to a move in time, and this move will knock them out. You will be able to win this game, and you see the next opponent being the Meta Knight. We see a lag run. It's so funny that this thing is like, most likely it's not going to say lag run or whatever, but it looks like Aggron just with an L in front of it. So it's basically an Aggron taking the L here, which is fitting, I think, for the Swampert. Like, it's literally such a fitting name, I guess. Sorry. We see here the Sableye coming in. You can go for the debuffing move. You actually go this time ahead into your Digger Speed here, as you can take the fast moves like nothing. They're gonna go for one return here. You will be able to knock them out with a one Earthquake, but you're actually going to go for one Fire Punch. I'm not a fan of this, because this will not knock them out. Like, this will not even get them close to knocking them out. But maybe you want to farm up a little bit more extra, but I think at the end of the day, I think you just lost some energy there with this move, and you lost some health as well. So not the biggest fan. Or you maybe want to try to swap out here, but you can swap out, and they're going to go for another move here. They're going to have most likely the Skarmory in the back, so it's going to be a tough one to still win this here. You're going to try to farm them all the way down, try to catch the move. Very nice catch here, and this might save you everything, because this catch will allow you now to get to more moves. It's funny how many people are running the team that I literally just showcased, but yeah, so weird. I mean, it's a good team. I climbed like 200 points already with this team. I'm so close to Legend. Might already hit it already. Most likely, maybe. Like, I'm going to release this video directly after the stream today, so I might have already hit Legend now, but you will know maybe. I don't know yet. But we will be able to now go for the farm down. You can just shield up and farm it all the way down. You should be fine here, winning this game pretty easily. We see the lag run coming in. Please go for the return. I think they wanted to go for the return, but they couldn't because they just forfeit. Sad. Also, we see the next opponent, also the final opponent. We see a pretty neutral lead here with the Trevenant. You can go straight for the launch. They're going to go ahead and go for one Shadow Ball, most likely, which will definitely get you to shield here, because you kind of have to shield. We see that actually they're going to go for the bait, which is going to be interesting. We see the Drapion coming in here, which is very nice for you. You can go ahead and go into your Digger Speed. Digger Speed will be able to just tank those moves, but sadly they're on the Awkward Tail, which will be super effective against you. Still, thanks to the debuff before, it doesn't do as much damage. You trying to get as much energy as you can, I guess, which is fair, because you have to beat the Trevenant later on again. So you're going to actually undercharge it, get another fast move through. Very nice play so far. And we see the Trevenant coming back in here, as you can go ahead and go for a Fire Punch. Not knocking them out, but a 1 more fast move is enough, and we see the Bastion in the back. It's going to be a tough one actually, and I think I like this play what they're going to go for this here right now. Not the perfect fast move timing, but it's difficult in this kind of scenario, but you try to go for 2 lunges, and you actually perfectly time it that you only get to 2 and don't give the opponent even more farm. But this will allow you to have a way better matchup with your Sableye now. Sableye will now be able to take those moves way better than before, and it's definitely worth it to go ahead and give them some more energy if they don't do as much damage now. And it's still going to be an uphill battle though. We're going to see that they have to throw a ton of charge moves to get rid of their shields. If they get rid of the final shield of them, like, they're going to be fine because they have the Digger Spear of course alive. But unless they're going to go for that, you have a problem. This should have been a Fire Punch definitely. Don't know why you didn't go for the Fire Punch, but now you're going to be able to go for it. And you're going to be able to win this final game. So, thanks for standing in those battles. See you tomorrow for another video and have a great rest of your day. Bye.